Hello, I'm a little bit early, but this is actually just a little bit of experimentation for me. I haven't used this new system before. I have done videos previously on YouTube, but the live streaming is something that I'm just taking a crack at today. So I put out the word to a few places that I would be starting this at 6 o'clock, and I'm about 4 minutes early. So I guess probably in this beginning I can give you a little bit of history about myself. Um, I was born and raised in Western New York State. Attended a local school in a farming community. Um, Developed an interest in electronics. That was when the whole electronics thing for internet and stuff like that we know today didn't exist. But when I reached 18 years old, I had received notification from the U.S. government that I was to be drafted into the Army and most probably would end up in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. I took an Air Force entrance exam and the recruiter notified me that I had scored high enough on work security in the Air Force, which inevitably led to a top secret clearance and work security and nuclear weapons. It wasn't exactly law enforcement, but as I found out later, because of my poor eyesight, I would not be able to work in any civilian law enforcement that there was. Um, so, because of that was the same time that the United States was pulling out of Vietnam. They had a lot of soldiers returning from Vietnam who were uh, between 6 months and a year, what they call short. If you're 6 months short, that means at 6 months your volunteer Air Force service would come to an end, and you would receive an honorable discharge and the veterans benefits that went along with it. But what they would lose if they took an early out would be what they call time and grade. So the money that they would receive that would be for their retirement from the Air Force would be greatly reduced. So what the Air Force did is they started what they called an early out program, where the fellows who had been in for less than 4 years could apply for the early out, and they would be discharged from the Air Force with a full honorable and get school benefits from the U.S. military. I jumped at that chance, and so out of the U.S. military, I ended up with my college degree in a lot of things that are directly related to what I'm going to be explaining to you today. Um, I will be providing access to um, some written materials that I have done and posted on the internet through Quora, Quara. And it is a website that allows you to do written explanations of different subjects that you want to talk about. And in the realm of Quora, those run from high speed auto racing all the way down to raising goldfish and everything you could imagine in between. But it's a great source for people who have an interest in the same subject to gather information and spread information. Uh, in that site, I will be directing people towards this uh, regularly scheduled program live on studio and give people the opportunity to ask questions and gain information about what it is we're doing and how we're going to do it. Um, the the issue that we're going to be dealing with throughout this entire process is renewable energy. What a lot of people don't realize is that the energy realm is um, pretty much ruled by the people in the fossil fuel industry. And one of the things that we'll be talking about specifically here soon uh, is the wind powered solar energy. If we were to design a truly base load designed wind energy machine, the world's need for fossil fuels would cease to exist. One of the things that we're going to be showing you here is a wind turbine that does not function like any wind turbine you've ever seen. This is a different device. I was working on it today, and I kind of came up with a different name for it. I'm going to refer to this thing in the future as the Energy Umbilical because it A provides energy and B is attached to Mother Earth like an umbilical. And the umbilical is elevated skyward with helium filled balloons. And on this umbilical are small vertical wind turbines that are each attached to their own air compressors. And this umbilical will reach up into the air, actually at any level you want, but probably the first build that we're going to be doing is going to be 200 feet in the air. And for each 10 feet of this umbilical, there will be an array of 4 vertical wind turbines. And these wind turbines' dimensions are 10 feet by 10 feet. So the 4 in a row would be 40 feet wide, and collectively they would be 10 feet high. So if we're doing a 200-foot umbilical, about every 10 feet would have one set of these. So we would have 80 wind turbines that would be functioning to use wind energy to drive air compressors. Now, because we're using these to compress air, if at any event the wind isn't available anymore to drive the turbines, the ground-based power generation system will function using the compressed air. So what this does is this turns the old traditional wind turbines into base load energy systems. And if you look at modern wind turbines, you will see that the last thing they ever claim to be is base load capable. And there's a reason for that. Because as soon as we become wind base load capable, our need for fossil fuels will die overnight. We'll no longer have any need for fossil fuels as a fuel. Now, we may be using this materials for agriculture, for adding to the soil to make it better for growing certain crops, but that is certainly a very small aspect of the oil industry. The oil industry is not going to be happy about this. It's going to mean an end to oil as a fossil. It's too expensive to locate. It's too expensive to remove from the ground. It's too expensive to process. It's too expensive to ship. And all of these hands in this pie are all demanding to be paid for the services they perform, which means that the prices of fossil fuel will never reduce and most likely will increase as the fossil fuel industry's grip around our throats becomes much tighter. But what we're going to be showing you here, hopefully within the next couple of years, is how any local community can build their own wind turbine systems that will provide all of the electricity that that locality needs and even more. And the best part of this is because this is your local government that will be getting the installation done, will be controlled by the people in the town, which means the electricity cannot be sold for any more than exactly what it costs to generate. If your electricity cost for 1 month is $100, the instant that you switch this on, your electricity cost will drop down to $10. Now multiply that times every member in your community, and you are going to see a very large amount of money remain in your townships that now leaves for points unknown, most likely the Middle East. And additionally, it would make sense to own an electric automobile if the electric costs in your town are so low. So you're going to see a lot more people driving electric cars because gasoline is too expensive. Now, if you want to join me in this, contact me at my email address and I'll get you set up to be notified when the next upcoming stream is coming online. And what I would like to do would be to have some open discussions with all of you where I can answer the questions that you would have about any of this, and where you could challenge me on statements that I make. Um, the the nature of my education and training is that of a scientist. I don't see questions as challenges to what I see. I see them as an opportunity to look closer at the decisions that I've made to see if I'm in error. So, what some people would consider to be discomforting, I welcome the challenges. And I encourage you, if what you're seeing at this point doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever, I encourage you to join us on our next stream and get up on the chat here and ask your questions. And I will try to answer every question that comes up on the chat. We may get to a point where there's just so many people here that I wouldn't be able to keep up with the questions. But at that point, then we'll figure something out to try to make sure that everybody's question is answered. But what I'm hoping in a lot of cases that the people who are online in the chat would see somebody asking a question that they knew an answer to, and they would answer that question right on the chat. If nobody volunteers to answer the question, that means to me that I need to address it and answer it directly so that everybody in the chat understands what the answer is. And, and, and we can all become educated together to do this. So it's running a little bit longer than I had originally planned, but if you want to get involved in this, on another note that I should make, if you are in the construction industry, this is going to be a major advancement in the construction industry. There is going to be a large call for anybody involved in the construction facilities: plumbers, electricians, carpenters, engineers, plumbing people, even not so much construction, but even somebody who is involved in using helium to float a helium balloon. Because the device that we're building will easily be elevated up to 200 feet in the air or drop down to the ground in order to take cover for severe incoming weather. So if you would like to find out when the next live stream is going to be, send me an email at dragmit5000@gmail.com. That's DRAGMIT, the number 5000@gmail.com. And in case you didn't notice, Dragnet is my name spelled backwards, Tim Gardner. So send me an email, let me know that you're interested, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Thanks.